Good afternoon. I want to welcome everybody to the Pitt County Department of Social Services Board meeting today, which is Tuesday, February the 8th, 2022. And just to let people know that we are meeting virtually today. So I'm going to call the meeting to order and by observing a moment of silent prayer or silent meditation. Okay, thank you. And I like the new video. I'm not sure who was responsible for that, but that was very nice. So I appreciate that. Susan, do we have anybody for public comment today?
No, sir.
Okay, if not. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and call the roll since we're meeting virtually today. Susan, if you'd be kind enough to do that for us, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Chair Cox?
Present.
Vice Chair Nelson?
Present.
Dr. Bunch?
Present.
Mr. Dancy?
Present.
Ms. Parkins Williams?
Here.
Good to see and hear everybody. Thank you for that, Susan. Okay, so first on our agenda, you should all receive your packet, is to adopt or revise today's agenda. Anybody have any revisions or any thoughts about that? If not, if I could have a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. So Susan, if you could call the roll, please.
Chair Cox?
Approve.
Vice Chair Nelson?
Approve.
Dr. Bunch?
Approve.
Mr. Dancy?
Approved.
Ms. Parkins Williams?
Approve.
Thank you. And let's do the same with the minutes. So you should all have received your minutes. If there's no revisions or amendments to the minutes, if I could have a motion to approve, please.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Mary. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Bunch. Okay, Susan?
Chair Cox?
Approve.
Vice Chair Nelson?
Approve.
Dr. Bunch?
Approve.
Mr. Dancy?
Approved.
Ms. Parkins Williams?
Approve.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, and again, this can be a little bit complicated. I don't know how we're going to do this, but we have recognition of new hires. So I'm going to let Dr. Frazier do his magic if we have new hires here and see if we can pull this off.
Susan, do we have them online today?
Wonderful.
No, sir, we don't.
Okay. So we did manage to get 2 people. We are so excited to have them on board. We have Jeffrey Smith and Natasha Arrington. Both of them are joining us at a very critical time of our operation. You are welcome, and please know the board is very, very satisfied with you guys.
Thank you, Dr. Frazier. And maybe next month, if we're going to be meeting with the possibility of meeting in person, maybe we could invite them next month. So
Yes,
we
sir.
could see them. So we could see them in person. So thank you for that. Moving on for items for consent. It looks like we have one budget amendment that we need to deal with today.
Yes, I will ask Ms. Angela Hart, the budget manager, to read and present the amended item.
Yes, we have got a budget amendment where we have received $20,000 from Greenville Utilities for their neighbor to neighbor fund. And these funds will be used to help anyone in Pitt County that qualifies, and they have to be they have to have the provider as Greenville Utilities.
Okay, thank you, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
So do we
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mary.
Is there a long process for that qualification? If not, since we're online or viewing live, is it short that you could give some idea for the residents to know?
That I don't know. That's more of a Teresa Fleming and a Sonia Scott process, I know they would have to come into the agency and actually apply for assistance of some kind. And then if they didn't qualify for SIP or any other fundings, then this is an option for them.
So it's
And-
not
Ma'am.
a simple process. It's a bit cumbersome. Okay.
Yeah,
A lot of times.
The application is pretty simple, and also on their bills with Greenville Utilities, there is a blurb in the bills that states that those funds are available for individuals and give them instructions on how to apply.
Is this outside of LEAP or in addition to LEAP?
This is
Outside.
outside of the app.
Mhm.
So normally if we have someone that applies for our SIP program and they do not meet qualifications for the SIP
Did I lose
program,
my sound? Did I lose my sound? I lost my sound.
No, you did not.
we,
Oh,
We hear you.
so
okay.
normally,
It sounded like she just cut off in the middle of an answer. Go on.
So normally if a person applies for the SIP for assistance with their utilities, we'll at first evaluate them for the SIP program. And for some reason, if they do not meet the qualifications for the SIP program, then we would evaluate them for neighbor to neighbor.
Okay.
Thank you, Sonia. So,
The SIP, it stands for.
Crisis intervention program.
Okay, I just want to know because I'm gonna get it for sure. If they're looking, I want them to be able to know for themselves, and they have to go in to your to social service operations out here at the complex, government complex. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
that's correct. You know, in the way that I think about it, it's another tool in the tool belt. So if consumers come in, they can be assessed for multiple projects. Is that right, Sonia?
Exactly, that's
That's
correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Kind of different buckets of money, but some to serve the same purpose, which is very
Exactly.
nice. Okay, I appreciate it. So I guess we need to approve this budget amendment. So if I could have a motion to approve the amendment for the neighbor to neighbor grant of $20,000. And this is no additional county funds.
I moved.
Thank you, Catherine. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Bunch. Okay, so Susan, can you call the roll, please?
Chair Cox,
Approve.
Vice Chair Nelson,
Approve.
Dr. Bunch,
Approve.
Mr. Dancy,
Approved.
Ms. Perkins Williams.
I approve.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you very much. Okay, moving forward here, items for report, and thank you, Angela. Items for report. So we're going to start off with the CDBG and the SIP updates, and I think Sonia, you're up.
Okay, so as of February 3rd, our total allocation for the CBDG program, which is our Community Development Block Grant, we had a total allocation of $809,670. As of February 3rd, we've actually issued $103,553.50, and we have a remaining balance of $706,116.50. We received a total as of February 3rd, 1,021 applications and for utilities and eviction, 163 applications. With the program ending on Friday and the press release on Friday, we received approximately 103 more applications within 24 hours. So that hasn't been added to that number as we're still working on those applications that were received. On page 2 of the slide, the administrative costs, the total administrative allocation was $89,814. We've spent $80,707.61, and we have a remaining balance of $9,106.36 as of February 3rd. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, in your packet, we can't see the slide, Sonia, but
I'm sorry.
Can you
That's
share
okay.
your slide, Sonia?
I sure can.
Please.
Thank you.
Can you go back to the first slide, please, so that we can?
Okay, I will. Can you see my slide?
Yes, thank you, Sonia.
Okay.
Thank
You're
you
good.
so very much.
You're welcome. So that's the first slide that I was spoke of, and then this is our second slide with our administrative costs.
Now, may I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
How would a citizen access these funds?
Well, the application portal ended on Friday, February 4th. So it was available online on our Pitt County website, the applications.
Are all of the funds expended?
We are still processing applications, and we have quite a few left to process. As I stated, we got quite a few the last few days of the program. So that's our numbers as of February 3rd. Angela may be able to give you a little bit more insight on that. As far as our administrative costs, you can see the balance of our administrative costs.
Ms.
Okay.
Perkins Williams, let me explain something about this grant. We were actually awarded the $809,000 plus the $89,000 in administrative fee funding. However, this is a reimbursement grant. So once the person comes in and applies, they have qualified for it, and we reissued the check, then that's when the money is actually considered having been spent.
Okay,
So
thank you. Understand the reason that I want to ask these kind of questions is because the citizens are usually listening, and they know what CDBG is much more readily than I do. And when they come and ask, but I saw we had that much, and your explanation will save me quite a headache.
No problem.
Thank you.
Sonia, go to the last slide.
Okay. And so our last slide is for our crisis intervention program, which is our SIP program. As you can see, our total allocation for the year was $768,557. We've issued $432,225 as of February 2nd. We have a remaining balance for the fiscal year of $336,331.96. $331.96. We have approved 2,511 households, and there have been 1,127 households denied.
Okay, the same applies. People still have a chance of applying for these funds?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do they need to do?
So applications for the crisis program can be made online through our ePass application process, which is the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services website. We also have paper applications available for them to pick up, or we can mail one to them as well. Or if we have individuals who call in, we can do an application over the phone now.
And they can call and ask you for an application?
Yes, ma'am. They can call, they can stop by and pick up an application with whatever is more convenient for them.
All right, thank you very
Sonia,
much.
again, Sonia, another tool in your tool belt. So when people come in, they can be assessed for different programs.
Yes, and if they're not able to come in for whatever reason, transportation issues or any other issues, they can give us a call and we can take the application over the phone.
Thank you. So does anybody have any questions for Sonia or Angela regarding either the SIP or the ESG grant? ESG, the CDBG. Sorry, guys. You guys with all your acronyms, you're getting me. So CDBG, thank you, Dr. Frazier, or the SIP grant. Any questions? Okay. Moving forward now, we're gonna ask for Brian to give us an update on the LEAP and the LEWAP. Correct?
Correct.
Close.
LIWAP.
LIWAP. Sorry.
Brian?
That sounds like you're speaking another language. Please spell that out for me in English.
LIHWAP.
No. When I say spell out, I mean use the word like community block grant and
Okay,
CDBG.
all right. You want the full name of the acronyms. Okay, LEAP.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, LEAP is the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, and LIWAP is the Low Income Household Water Assistance Program.
Thank you, Brian.
And first, I'll give the update on LEAP. As of the end of January, we had served 2,688 households in Pitt County. Of that 2,688, 1,403 households were automated payments for clients who were 60 and over, age 60 and over. 612 households received automated payments, and those households had children ages up to age 10. So they were able to receive an automated payment. They did not have to do an application. It was done automatically. And that, so of the 2,688 as of January 31st, 2,015 were automated payments and 673 were applications that were actually approved by our workers who actually, when the full application had to be done. So that's 2,688 households served as of January 31st. So out of the two funds, the regular LEAP fund and the pandemic LEAP fund, the total allocation, which was approved, was $1,010,100. So a little over $1 million has been utilized to assist people with heating expenses. We still have $908,087 left in the two funds. So there's money there to assist clients who still would like to apply. Households that were going to receive the automated payment have already received notices, so they know whether they were going to receive an automated payment or not. So it would be anybody who receives in the program now would need to make an application. And the application process, the application portals are the same that Ms. Scott referred to earlier. The same way it can be done online. We can do it by telephone. We can, if they want to have a paper application mailed to them, we can do that. Or they can fill out a paper application in our lobby and leave it with us here. So it's the exact same portal for the SIP process and the LEAP process, and also the household water program. The household water program, the interest in that program has picked up since I reported on it last month. Since the program started as of January 31st, we had approved 90 households. And out of those 90 households, the allocation was $24,015.13. As of the end of January, we had $367,361.87. But I checked today to see the activity on it, and our total approved as of today was $37,290.44. So the interest, people are hearing more about it. They're applying. We're averaging receiving about 8 applications a day now in the water program. And like I have mentioned previously, sometimes if people, because the income limits for LEAP are not as high as the water program, when people find out that they don't qualify for the LEAP heating assistance program, they might want to consider the water assistance program. They may qualify for that and be able to get some assistance in that area if their income is too high for LEAP. So I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
So Brian, it sounds like you make the application process as simple as possible.
We do.
It's multifaceted in terms of the way people can apply.
That's correct. So transportation would not be an issue because you can apply by online. And if you don't have access to online or not capable, not up on how to apply online, just call us and we can do an application by the phone. That way is another possibility. We're allowed to use a telephonic signature, so we can go on and expedite the process and get the application done.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian,
Yes.
have you had any problem with the people who uses for the Edgecombe County electric company that have to use the prepaid card? Have you gotten complaints from that?
No, we have not. I've not heard of any complaints. The way the prepaid accounts work is when those folks apply the whatever amount that they qualify for is sent as a payment, and it is applied as a credit to their account.
Hmm.
So I've not heard of any concerns about that. Because it works the same way pretty much for each electric provider, that once the payment is approved, regardless of what's owed on their account or how much they have on their account, it's done as a credit, so it's there to be utilized when they need it.
Okay, I've only had a couple of those, and I didn't know they came into the office asking, and I know we usually it comes down on their phone, and do you have a way of receiving it via their phone, or it's okay? There's not a problem.
You mean receiving their account information?
Yep.
Yes, if they come in and it's on their phone, we can take it from their phone and use it on the application. Yes.
Okay, if they call and send it to you, you don't have a mobile phone that receives it, do you?
Well, they can email it to like whoever's working on their case. They
Good.
can actually email it directly to that caseworker, and we can accept it that way.
Thank
You're welcome.
you
Anybody
very
else have
much.
any
That's
questions?
the kind of clarification I want.
Absolutely, Mary. Anybody else have any questions for Brian? Thank you, Brian, for that.
Thank you.
Okay, Angela. So next on our items for report, internal budget process. So it's budget time of year again.
Yes, sir, it sure is. I have done a slideshow presentation. I'm going to attempt to share my screen because this is my first time, so bear with me.
Okay.
Oh, such a pretty cat.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Mary.
There you go. Do you see my screen now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. I was going to go over the budget process internally. We all know what the county process is, but for DSS, that process is a little bit different. There is an extra step that we actually go through as a DSS agency. For the first stages of our budget planning, of course, our budget planning is done throughout the year. It's not something that we just limit to budget season. When we have management team meetings, we are constantly gathering information and trying to determine the things that we need to do that will better serve our clients and make things more efficient. In November of each year, I ask for the management team to send their wish list to the director and also to myself. And they also give us the justifications as to why they're asking for the things that they're asking for. It can be positions, software, anything that they need, furniture in their area. So basically it's anything that they feel that they need. And we call it a wish list because, as we all know, you don't always get what's on that wish list. So once all the information has been gathered, it's reviewed by the director and by myself. And then after we've reviewed it, the management team is asked to rank their requests by the urgency to determine what on their wish list will go from a need to a need instead of a wish. And with positions, if they ask for 32 positions, then we sit down and they'll tell us which one in each division is the most important. And then Dr. Frazier and I will sit down and make a determination of which ones that we feel like we can ask for with the justification that we have. Then the compilation begins, and this is where it is different for DSS than it is for the rest of the county. The first step for social services is to enter the information, or actually enter the whole budget into a state budget template. This budget template is a huge workbook of different worksheets that has lots of calculations in it. And when all of the positions and all of the expenditures, both client and operating expenditures, are entered into the system, we also get the funding sources and the amounts that we're going to receive for our allocations, and that's entered in there. Once all of that is put in there, it can give us the projected revenue for the positions, so that when we actually go to the county manager and we have our meetings with them, we can tell you about how much a position is going to cost. It's not definite, but it can give you a very good idea, a good sense of what the position will cost the county and what will be reimbursed for it. Our new position requests are entered into the program, and when I enter them into that program, it's based on the classification. The funding sources that we use is estimated based on what the description provided by the manager was. So whatever particular activity they do, whatever that code would be, is how we come up with our estimated funding source for the estimated revenues. Of course, all of our operational and client expenditures are entered into that same budget template, and those are based on prior year expenditures. Once we've entered all the information into the budget template, once I've entered all the information into the budget template, the county budget process begins for me. And of course, the county budget is due on March the 4th this year. However, the DSS board is required to approve our submitted budget. So when we have our March 8th board meeting, that's when our DSS board will finalize the DSS budget. And that is it. Are there any questions?
Since Brian is on the call, and this is a little bit different from before, has there been a problem? Because even with this, I don't know whether because I'm in the country and the sky is cloudy, but your even your information shared has been cut out and come back in, spotty. Is that a good word? Yeah. So has there been a problem with technology?
It was showing fine on my screen, Miss Perkins Williams.
It was the voice that went out. Like she was stopped in the middle of a word. But that's okay.
Yeah,
Just
let's keep track of that, Mary. And
everybody else knows.
Yes. So Angela, just to kind of recap, so the Social Services Board will approve the budget before it goes to the next step, correct?
Yes, correct.
And that will be at our next board meeting.
Right.
Correct.
Our March 8th board meeting, that's right.
And I was not aware, it was interesting to me to hear about the program that you can use to plug the positions in, because you have multiple streams of funding. So that gives you an idea what the county costs are versus the other streams of funding.
Right.
That was good information. Anybody have any questions for Angela?
I was just checking in, Angela. I was looking through our board packet. Was that presentation in our board packet?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Not this month's board packet.
If it's not there, we can make it available to the board.
The presentation is actually in there, not the budget itself, if that's what you're asking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking through my board packet. I see retention plan.
It's on
Strategic.
page 11 of the packet.
Okay,
Page-
I see it. It's on the bottom. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Front and back.
Scanning. Okay. Thanks, y'all.
You're welcome.
Angela, I have a question.
Okay.
It says that the budget is due to the county on March the 1st,
Mm-hmm.
and our meeting is on March the 8th. So
Correct.
help me understand that. If we have to approve it before, or it doesn't matter?
With us, the county knows that the DSS board has to actually approve the budget before it's actually ready to be submitted. So what they allow us to do this year, it's due on March the 4th by all departments, but they'll allow us to wait until after our DSS board meeting on March the 8th to actually have it submitted to them officially.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Angela? Thank you for all your work on that, Angela. I know you've done this for many years, and I appreciate that.
And then too, I think Brian, help me out here, with the process we have this year. We have different dates for different departments. Is that correct? So it's a very clear way of doing it.
Commissioner Perkins Williams, are you talking about the budget workshops?
Yes, the schedules that
Yes, ma'am. As of right now, we typically have DSS and public health present on the same day. I'm not sure which day that week it's going to be, but that's not until the second full week of May.
Okay. I just want to make sure so there wouldn't be a problem, Angela.
All right.
Okay.
And real quick to address Dr. Bunch's question, from a timing standpoint, but we have all the other departments that we have to start reviewing. So we probably won't even be ready to review DSS's budget before your March meeting. So we tend to save the best for last.
Thank you, guys.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Thank you for the compliments.
I like that. Okay, any other questions for either Brian or Angela regarding our budget process, which next month we're going to hear a lot about? Okay, thank you. So again, our final item on items for report, we're going to hear from Dr. Frazier, our interim director, regarding agency employment strategies. Last month, we talked some about that, and we got into a little bit of the weeds with that last month. And, we asked Dr. Frazier to put it on the agenda this month so we could hear from him in terms of some of the strategies that he's going to propose. Thank you, Dr. Frazier.
Thank you, Chair Court. I'm going to attempt to share my screen. Do you see that?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank God I got it first try. So my team and I went through the discussion on this. We all know that it has been very difficult to hire or even attract qualified candidates for any position that we have. So okay, hold on. God, is that it? No, that's not it. Escape that. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Okay, how do I get this? Oh, I'm getting stuck here. Oh boy. All right, here we go. I'm having a hard time sharing my screen.
We've all been there, Dr. Frazier.
Okay.
And if you can't share, we have it in our packet.
I have mine here, But if we go to the first slide, it is just a title page. And I gave a background of why we are discussing this or reporting to the board about the hiring and retention strategy. COVID-19 has been a challenge for every major organization. And we at DSS are affected the most because we are essential employees who has to report, regardless of a disaster or not, to agency demands and clients' welfare. So why are we proposing this model? Is to be able to attract qualified candidates and to be able to walk through and really think strategically about our operation and our current work trend. Do we still need to have a traditional 5-day work week? All right. The third slide will be, I am proposing with my team 4 strategies. The first strategy is shift adjustment. I looked at shift adjustment. Thank you. Somebody's going to help me to share my screen. No, it's here. I'm not seeing it. So we have a two proposed work weeks. We have a 4-day work week of 10 hours a day, and we have a 3-day work week of 12 hours a week. So when you put down the first proposal, the 4-day work week, it can be of 2 teams, Team A and Team B. We can reduce the number of footprints on the ground by 1 day. It's okay. So this is what is the proposed shift adjustment for the 10-hour work week. Team A will work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and work and off this is the one.
There you go.
We got it?
Yes,
Got it.
Oh, thank God.
thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. So now I can speak good. So Team A will work 4 days, off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Team B will be off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We reduce our footprint by 2 days of the week, the Monday and the Friday. So 3 days of that week, we have 100% of our staff. And 2 days of that week, we have 50% of our staff on both days. The next slide will give you the 12-hour work week. This is actually a very good model. It will open the office for a longer period of time for people who are working longer hours so that they can be off at 5, report to DSS at 6, and still get services up to 7. So depending on the hours that will be pushed down or allocated for that work day, a lot of people will benefit from those hours. And we can reduce the footprint by 75% on the ground, reduce risk as much as falls or contact. So let's say Team A, they will work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They are off Sunday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Team B will be off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, off Saturday, and on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So with this 36-hour work week, there is also a second part that we can look at. If we are saying the 36 hours is not a full-time job, we still need people to do 4 hours more to get their 40 hours, we can as well have them work 1 half a day on each of those days that they are off. So let's look at team A. They can actually do 4 hours on Thursday, and team B will do 4 hours on Tuesday. That will give them the 40 hours. The second proposal will be student loan repayment. This is not the same as the student loan forgiveness program, which is very complicated. We all know where we are with the student loan crisis. The highlighted bottom 2 are areas that we hire from basically for social services. And those people are in debt between $20,000 and $200,000 each. So let us see how we can play with this. There are a lot of ways we can play with the student loan scheme. Let us say 2 years, somebody you work with us, we can pay directly X dollar amount to your loan servicer. Or you live 5 years, we do the same. 10 years and over, we do the same. There are a lot of ways we can do this, either longevity, part of the benefit, or just part of a one-time lump sum payment called the Employment Attraction Program. If you don't have a student loan, somebody might ask, what do you do? What do I get? Fine, we can give you a bonus that will also be equivalent or similarly close to your Employee Attraction Program. This is different completely from the loan forgiveness program. It will not only help attract the bottom 2% that we are actually going for, it will also make them to stay as long as they are invested into getting this payment for their student loan. However, I must hasten to add, if you are suspended, you call out sick or you call out just because you want a day off, those days that you take off will not count towards the tenor for the employment program for the student loan payment. But if you are suspended, we pay, that will qualify. The third one I am proposing will be sign-on bonuses for and referrals. A lot of companies know this one. This is very easy. We can play with this to our advantage here at DSS. We can say X year with us. If you, a current staff, refer somebody that we hire and they stay with us for X year, you and that staff that we hire will get X dollar amount. So we are not only doing what I call implicit mentor-mentee relationship, but we are holding this staff who was the referent to help this staff, new staff, settle in on our mission, our values, and be sure that they behave and work so that they can earn this bonus. Research shows if we spend 2 years of $1 million on a job, constantly we have had enough of that $1 million. But if we get 5 years, that's actually a very good investment. We are spending between $15,000 and $100,000 to recruit a turnover ratio of even 5% of a social work position. Sometimes we had to fill positions that will even cost us a little more than this amount. We look at advertisement, time of interview, and time of placement, onboarding, research into whatever we can do. That's a lot of money that is going towards this one candidate. If we lose them within the year, that's the total. So if we are spending even $50,000 on one candidate, we can plow that money and invest it into our referral program and get a very steady employee population. Pitt County has a very good benefit. We have, trust me, competitive benefit comparable with any other county. I must hasten to add that Pitt County has 401k. We have sick days, we have paid holidays, and there is a merit pay increases. These are comparable across the board and can stand any challenge. However, I did a very quick analysis with just one county. It's called a salary study. Craven County. I took 3 positions that normally have a high turnover, and I compared our annual pay rate directly with Craven County. For the income maintenance case worker 2 position, Craven County is paying $42,135. Pitt County is paying $36,115. There is a $5,220 difference minus. And if we look at the social worker IANT position, there is a $7,249 minus gap. The social worker 3 position, there is a $4,364 minus gap. People see what they take home. The paycheck is what they believe in. This is what brings the bread and butter to the table. And this is what we have to look at. I am proposing that we look at a salary study comparable with maybe 3 or 4 counties. This was a very hasty analysis. I just chose one county that I was able to get the data directly, and that analysis helped me to see maybe, just maybe, there are other counties that may give something very similar to Craven or maybe less than what we are offering. So, case comes. I want to tell everybody who is listening and to the board, I am very, very proud of the team here at DSS. The social workers, the case workers, the line staff, they are doing a fantastic job even during this COVID. Our case count by state status is supposed to be 10. For the CPS and in-home services and assessment, the average case count per staff is 41. 300% above the state recommended case count. That is huge. And I commend my staff, and I want everybody to understand where we are coming from. When you look at the in-home, state count is 10. Still, Pitt County has 11 per staff. It's not bad, but it's still above what the state recommends. We go into the child care unit. The state rep recommends 235 per staff. Pitt County has 375 per staff, comparable with all the other counties as noted. Cumberland has 300. So in every of the facet and divisions and units, one by one, Pitt County is serving more clients, having more caseloads than other comparable counties. I am very thankful for listening to me, and I will answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Dr. Frazier. So questions for Dr. Frazier?
My question.
Mary?
Yeah, I do have questions, but I really don't know where to really start. Are we doing this now, or is this what you're proposing for the future? And does it help retention, or did I miss it? I saw the mission and all of that. Will this help morale, or does it increase morale, or does it, because you talked about the student loan and all of that. Am I making myself clear?
Yes, Mayor, I understand. your question.
Yes, I will attempt to answer a couple. The first question you asked, if I got it right, was, are we doing this now? No. This is just an item for report to you. It has just started the dialogue. I do not think this is a DSS board's decision to make.
Correct.
This is only an information for you that I have to pass on to the county manager for discussion or for consideration, as the case may be. But I wanted you, the board, to understand, A, this was how we are thinking. B, to know where DSS as their staff are handling their jobs. What is the weight they are carrying? How can we pull that weight and increase our productivity and also use that same model for staff retention? Yes, Ms. Mary, this will improve morale.
Okay, so you were looking at it for the future and comparing what we are doing right now. Thank you. Here is, as we study this, because I have to do a little study, and then it goes through a process and presentation. How long will it take to see the benefits prior to instituting?
That would be a far guess from even my scientific head. What I would safely say is it will be up to the county manager to set up a committee or to make recommendations where she may feel it necessary. At this point, this is just an FYI to the board.
Okay.
So it will come to you, Ms. Mary, through the county manager at a later date that she will feel comfortable at this point.
And so your team is the administrative team, the heads of departments, and you all will work out the kinks and you make recommendations, and then we'll look at it and talk it over before it's instituted.
Before it goes to the commissioners for approval.
Correct.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
so what's your goal line?
My goal is to actually adopt all 4 recommendations.
Oh, there was my laptop keeps saying that my internet is not stable. So I guess that's the spotty communication that I have. So I'm not getting all of the answers, but just as long as there's a goal set and I have a chance to look at the mission and that sort of thing with it, because I did see it in the packet, but I'm trying to wrap my fingers around my thought.
Thank you, Mary. Yes. Augustine, I applaud you and your team's creativity. I've seen all of these, all of these strategies, in place in different organizations, but we had asked after last meeting, I know that you had said that you had some thoughts about this and you were going to present your ideas. So anybody else have questions? Daron, being our HR person here, thoughts?
Yeah, actually I do, Dr. Frazier. I know you've gathered information from different sources, but have you probed your internal employees at the various levels, leadership, entry level, mid-level, supervisors? I mean, have you probed any of these ideas with your current staff to see what the temperature check is with them?
Yes, we have a dialogue with the management team. And at this point, that's the only level I want. Once it is gone through to this level of discussion, then we can bring it down to the managerial level and the chiefs and supervisors. Then it will take a survey, and then a final recommendation will go down to a committee that is set by the county manager. At this point, it is just discussion purposes. It has not taken any phase to even have authority to discuss this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you all do any type of internal satisfaction surveys?
Not to my knowledge, except if anybody on this panel will help me out. I do not know that, Mr. Darcy. Susan, do we do any satisfaction surveys? Angela?
Yes, we do. We have I think it's through SurveyMonkey that we can come up with different surveys and send out to the staff, and we've done that periodically.
Yeah. I mean, I've known several places to survey you pretty regularly, maybe monthly or so, quarterly at least. And it could be as simple as your mission statement. You know, how attuned are your employees to what your mission statements are? Are they aware of how they get rated? You know, are they in touch with leadership? Do they think leadership cares about them? I mean, there's a series of questions that, you know, you may want to consider asking to just get a temperature check on where your employees are. And that could flush out some of the ideas that you just presented on what would be, you know, some likes by them. I mean, it's great if, you know, if you want to start out bringing it with the leadership team, but I also think there's other ways to reach the entire workforce there is what I would recommend.
Okay. Thank you.
Other thoughts?
I would definitely agree with Jerome about that, just because it's always nice when you have input into something that's going to impact you, and that will help morale in and of itself. Even if you don't do it, if you ask and get input, I think that will be very powerful for your for our DSS team members. So you know, I think involving them would be really, really helpful, and conducting some type of temperature check that checks in with people to see how they're feeling.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it could be random. I'm not saying interview or survey every DSS employee every month or every quarter. I'm suggesting maybe do 10 or 15 a month randomly, or some percentage of your entire staff. That way, at some point, everyone should get one if you're doing this regularly over a period of time. Is what my recommendations would be. And if you want to have a side conversation, I could maybe share some questions that, you know, would be good for the survey.
I would love that. I can set that up after this meeting or off the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was good. That was good discussion. Good
So that sounds like you have a test crew already involved.
Good discussion. Anybody else before we move on? Okay,
Is
thanks.
there a test crew?
It sounds like we're moving towards that, Mary.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, moving forward here. Items for
All right.
discussion.
And I was thinking, because the internet is spotty, so I don't hear the full message. Thank you.
You're welcome. So items for discussion today. We have Brian Barnett with us today, the Deputy County Manager, Chief Financial Officer. And he's gonna, I think he has a presentation for us today, and entitled Exploring Consolidation, Human Service, Health Department Agencies. So Brian, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Good afternoon, Chairman Cox. I don't have an official presentation.
Okay.
As much as and I hope you don't hear my
Yeah, we hear it.
sirens are going off. Give me a second. Okay. Sorry about that. So what I wanted to do today real quick was just to introduce an idea that we as the senior leadership team with our new county manager, Janice Gallagher, have been batting around an idea. And we wanted to go ahead and just be upfront and open with you all what we're looking at. I'm sure most of you all, as members of the DSS board, recognize that some of our fellow counties in North Carolina have consolidated DSS and public health into a human services department. And what we would like to do as staff is just look into and investigate the pros and cons of consolidating DSS and public health. At this point in time, we don't have any real timetable to consolidate, but what we want to do is know what we don't know. We've looked across the state and we've seen where large counties have consolidated and we see where small counties have consolidated. So we as staff just want to make sure we're not missing something. And we want to get all the information and all the insight from the folks who have recently consolidated and those folks who have been consolidated since we were given that authority to consolidate. So we just wanted to put it out there that we would be looking into it. And as of right now, there's no plan to consolidate, but we would like to put all our information together, see what's out there, and then present back to you whether or not it's something that we would recommend, or we may come back to you and say we're good where we are. But we just wanted you and we wanted staff to know that we were looking at it, but it's not necessarily something that we have set in stone to do. But that's really all I have in terms of a presentation. I'll be glad to answer any questions that any of you may have about this research. Probably is the best way of putting it that we're about to embark upon.
Well,
Hey, Brian, this is Catherine Nelson. Quick question. Is this going to be also on the agenda for the Board of Health, just to broach this idea or this possibility?
I do not believe it's on their agenda tonight. I know we have talked to Dr. Silvernail about us doing this research, but I don't have a copy of their agenda in front of me, but I don't think it's on there for tonight.
Okay, thank you.
I think it would be beneficial for the two boards to sit down
And
to actually get a feel for the mix.
Right, and Commissioner Perkins-Williams, I would tell you that if we do the research and it looks like, I think it's probably more prudent once we've done the research to put the two boards together before bringing the group together at this point. This will probably be months. This is not something that we're trying to put together for the upcoming budget year starting in July. This may be 6 or 7 months. It may be the fall before we have information ready to present what steps we may be looking to move forward. So I think it may be premature to bring the boards together at this point.
Oh, not right. Yeah, I agree. I just want to know if that was a part of the process.
I think once we have the data, then that would be part of the process. But I just think, today in February, let us start the research and come back to you probably in the fall with what we've been able to find.
Ryan, this is Jim. I have a question for you. So is this, we had a little bit of discussion about this, but the group that's going to be looking at this, do you think it would be beneficial to have representatives from this board on that group at this point?
I would tell you that not today, but I will definitely tell you that probably throughout this process that we will be coming back and asking you to maybe look at asking some of you all some feedback and some questions that we will need to ask others out there so that we get a better understanding of the different groups that have consolidated so that we know that we're asking the right questions.
Sure. Yeah. We recently went through some board training by the Institute of Government. Social services boards are required to do that. And they touched upon consolidation, I believe. But, as board members, if you want to go on the Institute of Government's website, there is information on there. In fact, the presenter that did our training for us, board training, she's the one that's noted as kind of one of the experts in this area. So that's just FYI. I was educating myself and I went on the Institute of Government's webpage and found it this morning. So anyway, I just throw that out there. Any questions for Brian? Okay, if not, Brian, will keep us posted and in terms of your progress, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from you. Thank you. Okay, so next on our agenda is, for items for discussion is our board retreat. Now, there was some discussion that last month, we were going to have it this month, and then, decided not to do it this month with everything that was going on. So Augustine, we may want to blend this, Daron, some discussion. I know that you're on the agenda too, you and Dr. Bunge, about the director's recruitment in terms of some timelines and things like that. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Frazier.
I know for sure we are going to be able to get the retreat in March. And I am looking at a public speaker for us, and I have a suggested topic. You might maybe give me another one. Unconscious bias solutions by Frankly Covey. So this is a training I went through, and I think it's a good training for all of us looking at what is going on currently in our circle, in the world today, so that we can look at where we are and how we can be mindful of our own biases, how to provide services to others. So that is my external speaker and topic, except if you have any other suggestions, then we can go forward with that.
So thoughts from the board. Mr. Dancy, do you think, in terms of your timetable, in terms of our recruitment for the director, is March, how does that fit into your agenda?
The director search has now entered phase 2. I think last month I mentioned that I would hope that it would enter phase 2 by today's meeting, and it in fact has entered phase 2. We've received the list of eligible candidates from Raleigh. We have 3 eligible candidates that are now being assessed by a workforce employment resource solutions entitled Human Resources Solution that have been contracted to conduct pre-hire assessments on all candidates. That will take place over the next 2.5 weeks or so, and the search committee, our DSS Director Search Committee, has a meeting on February the 24th with Human Resource Solutions to discuss the assessments that were conducted. At that point, I should know better the timing of when we will enter phase 3, which would be the face-to-face interviews with the committee, ultimately leading to the face-to-face interview with the DSS board.
Okay, thank you for that update, Mr. Dancy. And I guess my question is, in March, is it the board's wish to move forward with a retreat in March? I know that I don't want Dr. Frazier putting in lots of time and effort in terms of pulling this all together, and March turn out not to be a good month to have the retreat.
Right.
I guess that's my point.
Mr. Chair, are we trying to have the retreat after a director is hired, a permanent director is hired? What's the goal?
I thought it was the decision last month in terms of our discussion. The board decided that we would move forward with the retreat.
Okay.
The planning and having the retreat, it was too quick to pull together for this month. So again, I am just throwing this out for discussion so we can make sure that we're doing the right thing per the calendar.
But what you're saying is that we decided to move forward with the retreat. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me, but so that's what we decided, that we would
Yeah,
just move forward.
that was my understanding,
Okay.
if I'm correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should move forward with the retreat. I think we do have business that, regardless of wherever we are in the search for the new director,
Okay.
I think there's business that we need to attend to. We are progressing again towards, hopefully identifying a new director soon. But I'm juggling multiple calendars. I'm juggling, some factors that are beyond my control. However, I am, pretty diligent, working diligently to get this moving. So I would say we move forward with the retreat and continue with our progression in the director search. The next milestone is a February the 24th meeting with Human Resources Solution to discuss the assessments. From there, the plan is to have face-to-face interviews with the search committee based upon the assessments. And then ultimately, again, in the final interviews with this committee in either, it certainly will be tight for March. I'm thinking realistically it will be April.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear, Mr. Dancy, just in terms of kind of laying that out so we could move forward. Because again, I didn't want to interrupt that process, in terms of things, by scheduling our retreat for March. Just to remind folks, that would be March the 8th. And what we had talked about was probably from 1 to 4.
Correct.
That's kind of what that time frame in terms of things. I don't know how people would feel about doing that in person versus being doing it virtually. So some thought to that. I think, and Susan, you can help me.
I'm going to share something with you, board members and colleagues and all of this. With almost every minute, there is every other minute, there is a message on this laptop saying to me, your internet connection is unstable. So I'm going to have to do something better than this, because in the middle of the sentence, I don't hear the whole sentence. And some of you are freezing on the screen, and I don't see your mouth moving at all, but I know you started out saying something. So we're going to have to do something better, and either I'm going to have to do something better than this. It's not working for me. So I don't know. I would prefer a better place for the retreat. I certainly have to, I'm not getting a lot of things, and this board is losing me completely. This internet is not working for me. Even though I'm as chair of the board, Mr. Cox, I'm saying to you that it's not working for me, and I'm losing grounds with activity, directions, and whatever. It's just not working for me. And this is a board that I've been on for some time, and I'm on the National Association of Counties that's on a human services board that covers a lot of things and whatever, and I can't even relate with some of the stuff that you're talking about, what we just finished discussing with Brian and you about the compilation I've had some of that on NACO, but I don't, this board is somewhere in outer space. I'm trying to put it mildly.
Others? Other comments? So it sounds like the pleasure of the board is to move forward with the retreat for March. And we will have Dr. Frazier move forward with planning the agenda. I think if others have ideas and suggestions in terms of the agenda, I think certainly let him know. Catherine and I will be meeting soon in terms of planning some of that, but certainly you all have the opportunity to provide, offer input in terms of the agenda. We were scheduled to meet in person last month, and then it was decided that meetings would not be available. It was recommended that we not meet in person last month because of the pandemic. I didn't hear any different this month in terms of things. Susan, are committees meeting again in person? Does anybody know?
I have not heard yet. It is something I can check into and let you know. We could possibly
We
get the
met in
Ag Center
person
again
last
and
month.
just spread out.
Okay. Brian, so are the commissioners meeting in person?
Chairman Cox, the Board of County Commissioners did meet in person last night, and I believe it's their plan to continue to meet in person with a virtual option in case anyone does need to be out. We as staff met this morning to review yesterday's meeting, and we are hoping to transition everyone back to live and in person. But during this time, until that's official, we are going to leave it up to you and the rest of the DSS board to assess your level of comfort.
Okay. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Well, this is the first time that that I have been on Old River Road during a meeting, and the connection has been bad. And last time it was raining, and I couldn't even get on from at home. So I'm gonna have to do something different, or I take there has to be something. Otherwise, I'm gonna be completely out of touch.
Okay, so let's do this, and I'll just kind of throw out a suggestion that we'll move forward with a March retreat. Tentatively, it'll be from 1 to 4. If anybody, I would say that if there's no objection, that we could look at a in-person location somewhere that we could spread out. And then we'll, again, from 1 to 4, and we'll kind of go from there. Is everybody okay with that?
Mr. Chairman, as long as I can bring my Lysol and Microban and 3 masks, I will be fine. Get ready to be sprayed down.
Bring what? I heard it long you can bring, and then you said and 3 masks. I'm telling you what I just heard.
That's right. Microban, Lysol, and 3 masks. Get ready to be sprayed down if you want to get close to me.
Thank you, Dr.
I'm about like you, but I got to do something better, because this board is very important to the community that I serve as well. Otherwise, I'd been off for a long time, but this board is very important to the community that I'm serving. And I certainly want to stay in tune with it, but I got to do something better. This spottiness is not working.
Okay, we've gotten a little bit off track here. We've jumped around a little bit, and we're running long today. So let's move on to the interim director's report, Medicaid application processing report. Dr. Frazier?
Yes, Chair Cox, I have a proposition. We only have like 5 more minutes because Department of Health is about to jump on. So can I defer the strategic scorecard?
Wait, hold up. You said because the public affairs.
The health department is
about to do what?
The health department.
Brian, excuse me, this is an official meeting, and the public affairs should not be jumping off of this and cutting the meeting off. We are in separate locations. We are spread it out. I don't know where it is, but the scenery in the background saying that all of you all in a different spot. And you can't even see me because this laptop isn't working like it should. And we did have some of the similar issues last night. So let's see what we can do. Brian?
Commissioner Perkins Williams, I don't think Dr. Frazier was intending to cut the meeting off, but because it is a Zoom virtual meeting, we do have the health board coming up later on this evening, and I think he was just making reference to that. But I don't think there's any intent to stop this meeting short to finish out the agenda.
What time is the health board?
5:30.
5:21 now, Mr. Chairman.
Dr. Frazier, go ahead with your report.
Medicare processing, for the Medicare assistance to the disabled, our processing time is very good. We are above the 95%. However, other Medicaids, we need to do a lot better. We are below the state recommended minimum of 90%. And for the applications processing by month, for the MAD, we are also down below the state recommended, and equally same standard for the other Medicare processing. This is due to a number of factors. We are experiencing a larger volume than normally necessary, and we are now reviewing more cases than it's supposed to be because of those backlogs. That's the reason why our Medicare processing time is slightly under the recommended values.
Okay. Thank you,
Any
Dr.
questions?
Agency personnel?
Yes. As of today, we have 48 total vacancies that are existing within the agency. As of our last meeting, we filled 6. Yay, that's a very good number. And we have 11 of those 48 frozen. 3 are in interviews. 16 have been advertised. 2 background check, and 16 in screening. So we are making progress, but the numbers keep rising. That's the vacancy report. Any questions?
No. Any questions for Dr. Frazier? So Dr. Frazier, would it be appropriate to maybe save our strategic plan update to the retreat?
That was my proposal to you, the
Yes.
chairs, for the board to approve, because it is a little lengthy document. It will take me at least 15 minutes to present. And because it involves very complex numbers, there's going to be a lot of questions from the board.
Yes.
That may take at least 30 minutes to finish up this report.
Yes.
I am proposing that you approve this item to be for the March 8th meeting.
I think that's a wonderful item for the retreat. Are people in agreement with that?
Absolutely.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Frazier. And what we'll do is we will move forward early on with our planning of the March meeting. But certainly if board members have ideas for the retreat, don't hesitate to send those forward in terms of.
I will.
So thank you, Dr. Frazier.
You're welcome, Chair Cox.
So we've had the director's search report and we are close to wrapping this up. Board member comments. Anybody have any comments for the board they'd like to make?
"48 vacancies are a lot. And Mr. Chairman, if I'm in order, I move that we adjourn."
Okay, could I have a second?
Second.
Susan, call the roll, please.
Chair Cox,
Absolutely. Yep, agreed.
Vice Chair Nelson,
Yes.
Dr. Bunch,
Yes.
Mr. Dancy,
Agreed.
Ms. Perkins Williams.
Agree.
Thank you very much. It's been a good meeting. I look forward to our March retreat. You'll be getting more details about that soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks a
Thank you.
lot,
Stay
Chair.
safe.